Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape, you already know that the Cleveland Browns are in a very intriguing position as we approach the November 4 trade deadline. And I gotta tell you, it's a situation that's causing quite a stir among fans, analysts, and insiders alike. The Browns, who have been building a solid team foundation in recent seasons, are now at a crossroads, and it looks like they might be heading toward a seller's mindset rather than a buyer's. And that's a strategic move that could reshape not just their roster, but the entire division. Now, why is this happening? Well, it all centers around a few key players on the roster, particularly on the offensive line, which is a crucial area in today's NFL. Jared Mueller from SB Nation recently highlighted 10 potential trade candidates from Cleveland, and at the top of that list, the most notable name was Wyatt Teller. If you've been following the Browns, Teller is no stranger to excellence. He's a four-time Pro Bowler, having earned that honor every year from 2020 to 2023, and he's also been recognized as an All-Pro twice. That's the kind of player who can change the game on the interior of the offensive line. And right now, Teller is in the final year of his $56.8 million contract, which makes him a prime candidate for a trade if the Browns decide to go that route. And here's the interesting thing. The Browns have some depth on the offensive line. They've got Tevin Jenkins and Zach Zinter, both of whom are talented players capable of stepping in and filling roles. Having these options gives Cleveland a little wiggle room. If the team decides to move on from Teller, they could potentially trade him to acquire draft capital, which is always a priority for this franchise. The NFL is a league where the value of draft picks cannot be overstated, and with Cleveland already holding multiple first-round picks in 2026, including one from the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're in a position to make strategic moves that could set them up for long-term success. But it's not just Teller who might be on the move. Another key player mentioned by Mueller is Joel Bitonio, the veteran guard who's been a staple of the Browns' offensive line for over a decade. Bitonio just celebrated his 34th birthday and is playing in his 12th season in the league. And what a career it has been! Bitonio has been selected to the Pro Bowl 7 times and has made the All-Pro team 5 times. His leadership, experience, and skill make him one of the most decorated guards in the NFL today. But like Teller, he's also in the final year of his current contract, which means the Browns could consider trading him if the right offer comes along. Now, you might be wondering, why would Cleveland consider trading such iconic players? Well, the truth is, with the recent changes at the quarterback position, especially the emergence of rookie Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback, the Browns are shifting their focus toward building for the future. Gabriel stepped in as the starter in Week 5 against the Minnesota Vikings, and he's already making waves with his poise and ability to lead the offense. The team also traded veteran Joe Flacco earlier this week to the Cincinnati Bengals, signaling that Cleveland is betting on their young quarterback and the future of their franchise. This move to start Gabriel and trade Flacco signals a broader strategy. Cleveland is now in a phase where they're evaluating their long-term assets, and that might mean parting ways with veteran players like Teller and Bitonio before the deadline. Holding on to them until the last moment makes sense, especially considering the Browns' draft capital and the fact that they're already heavily invested in their youth movement. They've drafted 7 rookies in 2025, with several of them already playing significant roles early in their careers. This youth infusion suggests that Cleveland is looking to build a team for the next decade, not just the immediate season. So, what does all this mean for Browns fans? It's a fascinating confluence of strategies. On one hand, you have a team that's trying to maximize its draft picks, potentially trading away some of its veteran stalwarts to accelerate their rebuild. On the other hand, you have an evolving team led by a young quarterback, eager to see what the future holds. If Teller or Bitonio are traded, It could be a sign that the Browns are positioning themselves for a deep playoff run in the coming years, or perhaps even a Super Bowl push, especially considering how well their young core is developing. And let's not forget the context. The AFC North is one of the most competitive divisions in football right now. The Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, and Pittsburgh Steelers are all vying for supremacy, and any shift in Cleveland's roster could have ripple effects across the entire division. Cleveland's ability to navigate this trade deadline skillfully could be the difference between a division title and a rebuild that takes years. The Browns surely don't want to fall behind, especially with how quickly teams like Cincinnati and Baltimore are evolving. Now, looking specifically at the current season, Cleveland's performance has been a mixed bag. They've shown flashes of brilliance, especially on offense with Dylan Gabriel leading the way, but also some inconsistency that's typical of a team still finding its rhythm. The defense has been solid at times, but as always, the health and depth of the roster will be crucial as they approach the stretch run. The trade deadline, therefore, becomes a pivotal point. Do they hold onto these veteran guards and try to make one last push, or do they cash in and focus on the future? If the Browns do decide to move on from Teller or Bitonio, the timing will be critical. They might wait until closer to the deadline, especially considering the NFL's unique trading window. The team's management has shown a willingness to be flexible, and with Gabriel now firmly in place as the starting quarterback, there's a new sense of optimism about the direction of the franchise. Cleveland is also well aware that they're in a position to leverage their draft assets, including their valuable picks in 2026, to bring in players or even future picks that could bolster their roster. And let's talk about the potential impact of these moves. Trading Wyatt Teller or Joel Bitonio could open up opportunities for other players to step into larger roles, especially younger players on the offensive line or even in the draft. It might seem tough to see these key veterans go, but in the NFL, strategic rebuilds are often necessary to stay competitive in the long run. Cleveland's front office has shown that they're not afraid to make bold moves if it means setting up a winning future. Of course, all of this is speculative until the deadline hits, but one thing is clear: Cleveland is in a strategic phase right now. They're weighing their options carefully, trying to balance the immediate need to win with the long-term goal of building a sustainable, championship-contending team. The fan base is excited, perhaps a little anxious, but mostly eager to see how their team will shape up in these critical weeks leading up to November 4. And don't forget, this isn't just about the veterans. The Browns' youth movement is gaining momentum. They've already integrated several rookies into important roles, and the team's future looks bright with so many young talents developing at a rapid pace. The combination of young talent, strategic trades, and a new starting quarterback is creating a new era for Cleveland. Fans are optimistic about what's ahead, but also realistic about the tough decisions that need to be made this trade deadline. So as we get closer to the big day, keep a close eye on Cleveland. The team's management has a lot of options, and the moves they make could have a ripple effect not just for this season, but for the next few years. The Browns are in a fascinating spot, a team with a rich history, a passionate fan base, and a clear vision for the future. Whether they decide to hold on to their veteran guards or send them packing for draft capital, one thing is certain: Cleveland is not standing still. They're actively shaping their destiny, and we, as fans, get to witness every moment of it. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Browns should trade Teller, Bitonio, or maybe hold on to them a little longer? Are you excited about the young core led by Dylan Gabriel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. Thanks for being with me today, and as always, let's keep the passion alive. Go Browns!